What's up, guys? Give me 1 second. Doo-doo. We're going to get Brad up in here. Just want to get this thing rolling. Guys, give me your favorite emoji if you can hear me. Just want to make sure it's working on that end. The thumbs up is your favorite emoji, Sean? Come on, bro. Bring something else. You can do better than that, bro. I can't. Those custom emojis don't work. That's good, Steve. Stephen Ames. Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing him. There we go. Now we're talking, people. God, good news and bad news. Oh, I think I have good news. Hold on. Hold on. I think we're able to get Brad. Let's see. Sanitizer. So on the back end, so when I pull up YouTube on my phone, I can see the emojis you're sending. But if they're custom emojis, then I can't see them in this platform that I'm using. There's Brad. There's B-Rad.
Hey.
There we go.
now we're working. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you guys hear B. Smith? Just keep those emojis coming. I like seeing fun emojis. What's going on, man?
I love Steve Jackson's emojis. That's hilarious. So yeah, well, everything was going good up until about 5 minutes ago. We couldn't figure this out, but we're good. We're good now. Man, bro, what a wild day in the market today. It was like,
hold on. Slow down. First off, are you on stilts? Because why are you so high up? And I don't like you being way high.
I'm just close. No, I'm sitting down. Sorry.
You don't have like I feel like I need a hydraulic to lift up. No, you're good now.
Okay. I just wasn't sitting back only. If I'm up here like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the market's been all over the place. As you guys can tell, we put in the title that it's been an insane roller coaster. It has been that way for a couple of weeks, but we're going to get into all that, plus the crazy Affirm news, which is awesome, all kinds of other stuff. But guys, welcome to the Chaos. My name is Brad. That guy over there is Fat Man Zoom. And the stock market's crazy and chaotic. We made it our mission to help you guys own it. We're so pumped to have you guys here. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Fat Man Zoom, do you have a starting five today?
Yes, sir. Starting five, we have Savvy Money Show, Scott Sherwood, Zion Khan, Sean Ethier, and Jeff Panika. Shout out to you guys for the starting five.
My man is on it. Problems and all, we still got that starting five out for you guys.
Yeah, we did. A lot of good stuff got going on in the market. We've got some topics that we're going to go over. I know a lot of you guys are already talking about a firm. Definitely going to be getting into that. We're going to be talking about 3 stocks to buy instead of Facebook, which Brad, you don't. You kind of know that, but I'm letting you know now. We're going to talk about the 3 stocks to buy. Our favorite fintech stock, and Tesla stock position. So we think Tesla's going to break out, and I have a prediction. I think I know when it's going to break out. So we're going to have all those conversations, but we need to start with what's been going on in the market. It's been certainly choppy. Market tried to call back, but I wanted to get your sense of the markets today, but more importantly, the overall market sentiment, and what's your October trading strategy going to look like?
Yeah, man. So as you guys know, I mean, the market's been all over the place. There's been a lot of headwinds that I think have been, I don't want to say manufactured, but it seems as if investors are trying to find reasons to sell. The market's been doing so well all year. And, we have the debt ceiling deadline that's going to be coming up, which I think is probably one of the biggest reasons we're seeing a wall of worry here, but also the rising interest rates that we're seeing as well. And so there's a lot of that going on, but there's so many good tailwinds in the market right now that I just can't justify either being short on the market or even being out of the market. I still think it's very much a risk on environment. And I think that you putting your money to work is going to be the best way to do things. And as far as my strategy is concerned, this kind of reminds me a little bit of what we went through in July. There's a lot of choppiness. We still remained bullish, but we kind of felt like this was coming. And same thing with right now. We kind of felt like October was going to be a little bit bumpy, especially leading with the debt ceiling and, inflation fears and that sort of thing. But the economy is still booming. People are spending money like crazy. We do have some of those supply chain issues that we talked about over the last couple of days, couple of weeks. But I still think it's very much risk on. And I think once this all kind of sorts itself out, and it probably will start with that debt ceiling being raised, which we feel like is more than likely going to go through. Once that does, I think it kind of makes everybody feel a little bit better. We'll start breathing a sigh of relief. So for me, I'm in more or less of a holding pattern here. I'm not going to go crazy on buying stuff up until we start to see the market kind of pick a direction. Even if it goes down, it gives me an opportunity to potentially add whenever it decides to settle out. But it's just, if I look at my chart, bro, it is just all over the place, up and down. I mean, I was up 10%, 12% last week, and then it just dropped another 8%. And then it's just all over the place. So I think for right now, until we can actually clearly define a direction the market's going in, I've just kind of been chilling, watching things develop, and then looking for the opportunities when I see them.
Yeah. I would agree. And I don't know if you used this morning, Brad, with the payrolls. Did you see the numbers that came out?
No, I missed those.
Yeah, so they were great numbers, and I wish I would have. Here we go. So private payrolls released by ADP. The estimates were 425,000, and they came in actually at 568,000 for the month. So much higher than expectations. And so I think that more speaks to your point about what the long-term sentiment should be. We've got more news coming out this week that obviously could support the argument or not. Obviously, we have jobless claims coming out. That's going to be important. But I think overall, that's really promising. One thing I do want to point out, and there may be a video coming in the future, specifically in these numbers, the leading sector was leisure and hospitality, with the creation of 226,000 of those 568,000 for the month. So I think that bodes really well for hospitality, and maybe this is the turnaround as well for them. A lot of strong indicators that I think should lead to bullishness. At least for us, it leads to bullishness.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've actually been talking about the hospitality space since late summer, about how jobs are really going to start pouring back into those areas because of, COVID fears kind of dying down, that sort of thing, and then travel stocks obviously being closely related to that field. I mean, we're still looking at Bloomin' Brands and Wingstop, some of the restaurant stocks that Dave and Buster's, for example, is another good one. Those are all going to continue to do well, and they're really still well far off from their highs. Some of them are still well off of their highs from pre-pandemic levels. So I think that those are going to continue to be opportunities leading into the end of the year, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of opportunities, I'm going to get into, since some of the comments are talking about the debt ceiling, let's talk about the Tesla stock prediction. So Tesla blew out delivery numbers, and it's been kind of sideways. So I don't know what expectations were, but typically, with Tesla, you had mentioned we typically see a deliveries beat like that going in earnings. We typically see a little bit of a run up, and then potentially there'll be a lot of times a sell off on Tesla just because the expectations are so high. Well, the one thing I wanted to bring to the table for you, and it's more of a theory for me, I do think I have a strong idea of when this thing's going to break out. I do think breaking out is going to happen. It's about when. And I think it falls in line with the debt ceiling. So the debt ceiling deadline for it to lift is October 18th. Now, recently, like within the last hour, there's news that potentially McConnell is going to offer a temporary extension. So this might throw a wrench in my plans, but all things equal, October 18th is the deadline. And so I actually expect some choppiness leading into October 18th overall market. And I think best case scenario is Tesla's more sideways around that 780 range. Yeah. Even if it went down a little bit because of fear around the debt ceiling, I think that wouldn't be a surprise to me. However, I think we both agree the debt ceiling is going to be lifted. We're going to figure it out. It's not anything to really worry about. There will be fear in the market the closer it gets to October 18th. However, nothing to worry about in our opinion. Do you know what the day after October 18th is, other than October 19th? Do you know what's happening?
I can only guess that it's got to be Tesla's earnings.
The next day is Tesla's earnings. I think this is setting up for sort of a perfect storm scenario, Brad, where we have the stock crushing delivery, but unfortunately it refuses to move because of the overall market sentiment, which gives it a unique opportunity to not run up into earnings and maybe to be down a little bit. And then if they blow out earnings, which we think they should do really strongly in earnings, Bitcoin's up, benefits their balance sheet. Obviously deliveries were record setting, so we could get a record quarter. I think that spells a potential breakout. What say you?
I think there's definitely something to be said there. And I mean, we even touched on it yesterday about historically what Tesla does on positive sales numbers as well. So you combine that with some of what's going on here in the market overall and how Tesla can be impacted just in a general market sense, then yeah, I think that there's definitely a case that you can make for a breakout. I did, if you don't mind sharing my screen with the crew, this is like an area that I think could be a really strong breakout point. We just got up over that 780 mark and it's holding there as a support. If we can continue to see this really make that move and break out from here, I don't see this stopping really at 800 either. I think that there's a case to be made that this could go up to around 850. If we see some good positive numbers from the earnings as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've been targeting $1,000, and that seems, given their trajectory, that feels like it could certainly be possible in the short term. So we'll see. And we know how this thing moves. This thing could potentially have that move. But from the technical perspective, it looks really good. And it's looked really good for the past couple months. And so we'll just keep an eye on it, see how it's looking. But I think something else is going on, Brad, that benefits Tesla. I think reality is setting in for these other companies, or for the market with these other companies. And when you see Tesla coming out with 240,000 deliveries and these other companies talking about, we're going to be, by 2030, we're going to be crushing it. well, they're only delivering 20,000 vehicles or 0 vehicles, right? I think the market's beginning to get a little bit restless. And as Tesla continues to grow, you can't avoid the distance that they're creating between their competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is still going to be something that I think is worth holding on to, and I really like the stock in general, just as far as from a long term standpoint. But even in the short term, if they come out and blow out these earnings out of the water, or they come in with any kind of surprise compared to their competitors, I think this just propels Tesla up so much higher. Like nobody's going to be surprised if they come in and actually meet expectations or even fall below expectations, just because of some of the the
Yeah,
supply chain shortages
yeah,
that we've been experiencing. But if they come in and beat expectations, I think that would speak volumes to the company and how they've been able to manage and handle through some of the challenges that these legacy companies just simply have not been able to do.
yep, bro. That's a great point. The supply chain is a great point, and I feel like we're getting indications that Tesla's not being impacted as much as some of its competitors as the supply chain's going. They have acknowledged, Elon has acknowledged the supply chain is certainly impacting them, but it's not to the extent it doesn't feel like. So a slight miss or a miss, and then they attribute it to supply chain. To your point, I don't think it's a big deal. However, if they do beat, I think that is a big deal because it shows, hey, we don't have the extent of the challenges that our competitors are. Again, just another feather in the cap for Tesla. So it's
Absolutely.
exciting. Looking forward to it, guys. We'll continue to monitor Tesla. Let us know what you think. What's your earnings prediction? Where do you think the stock can go? I know we have some predictions of $900. I mentioned potentially $1,000. Kathy Wood thinks $3,000. I mean, it's all over the map. But let us know what you think. I think largely, our chaos crew is bullish on this stock. Hope you're on point. Fat Man Zoom. Who else is holding Tesla? A lot of our crew, I think, is holding Tesla for sure. Yeah, let us know if you guys are holding Tesla. Let us know what your dollar cost average is on that bad boy. Jeff Panika mentions if Giga India starts, Tesla will go nuts. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, we can see how quickly they get these things ramped up. Capacity, I mean, it's all about keeping up with demand for them, and there's so much demand. Jim Souter says Tesla has no competitors right now until any other company at all starts ramping production. I've yet to see any other company make volume EV other than Chinese. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know. You're talking about almost we predicted, we adjusted, revised our predictions, and we said around 900,000 vehicles. That's going to be insane. I don't want to go off on it too much. We can move on to the next topic, but I'm going to let you take this next topic, bro. And it feels like it's our favorite fintech stock, and our favorite fintech stock has yet another piece of great news. Brad, why don't you tell them what's going on?
Affirm, baby. Can we talk about this boner candle on the daily chart? I mean, holy shit. So, guys, if you are new to the crew, if you're new to the channel, we've been talking about Affirm. I made an initial entry. I had an average price of $61 a share over the summer, doubled it, and then ended up scaling my way out. So, unfortunately, I'm not in this stock anymore. But for those of you who are, and continue to stay into the stock, it has gone off yet again today on news that Affirm has sealed a deal with a Target, another major player. We know that they are already working with Walmart. We obviously know the news about Amazon, which really propelled the stock forward, and so many others, right? But this is just another one. Target is another big deal. Now, I will say that this is a very exciting move as far as Affirm's concerned. It's up over 20%. I actually was thinking about getting into this on Monday. Fat Man Zoom brought it back to the watch list for our KS crew members on Monday, and it was looking really juicy. I kind of wanted it down here at 105, and it was there for a split second, and it didn't give me the opportunity to get filled on this. So I was just like, you know what, I'll be patient with it. And then, of course, obviously this news comes out. So missed the opportunity there. I think this may end up cooling off a little bit later in the week, but it's still awesome to see, bro, that this has gotten pretty close to its all-time highs that we haven't seen really since the company went public back in February. So this is a really good move. This is obviously another positive development for our firm. And bro, they're just continuing to make their case for as a merger acquisition.
Yeah, absolutely. And specifically, they actually IPO'd in January 13th, and we kept it. It made its initial appearance on our watch list on January 28th. And I just want to read to you what we wrote in that watch list because it's very interesting. So remember, guys, this is the watch list that we send out every morning. We have 5 stocks on it. Affirm 2 weeks after it IPOs. One of the stocks we're most excited about currently, they provide zero interest payment plans for digital purchases such as Peloton, Bike, Lululemon Mirror. I've used their platform and it's seamless and easy to use. They are going to be a monster. Their key issue is diversification of clients, which is
because Peloton at the time was basically their only client for the most part.
Well, I mean, they had Walmart, they had Lululemon, but yeah, it was, 30, I think it was 38% of their revenue. But that last line, their key issue, which is what they addressed, and the reason why it's really going off right now is you now have Amazon, and then you add Target to the mix. And so it's crazy how these things work out. But the reality is, if you're a company that is addressed, well, first off, we just need to just a moment of silence for the awesome call on us. but if you
pause, please. You're welcome.
But yeah, if you're a publicly traded company, like it's just if you can address these needs. Same thing with Palantir. We talked about what needs to happen and the pain points, and so this is going to continue to grow. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite fintech companies. Obviously, I still am bullish on PayPal. But if you're looking from a long-term speculative perspective, Affirm should be just fine. And once they become profitable, I mean, they're going to be right in the mix. They're doing everything right. I like how they're progressing and growing, and they're quickly making a name for themselves.
Yeah. Mark, is it Mark Peach? I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Peach. But he put in there that we put it on the watch list. And, it is... It's so funny, bro. Like lots of times we put stuff on the watch list and it's literally the next day or within the next 24 hours or 48 hours that it pops off. We saw this with Ford. We saw this with so many other stuff. We've seen it with Affirm now more than one occasion at this point. Netflix, another one. So guys, if you are interested in getting that watch list from us, that that has proven itself time and time again, check out the join button next to subscribe. We'd love to have you guys as part of the Chaos crew. It's $4.99 a month. You get a watch list from us every single day. We slap 5 stocks on there with a really detailed explanation as to why we think that they're worth taking a look at and worth watching. And you get all kinds of other goodies, access to our Discord group, trade alerts, all that good stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, and it's less than $5 a month, at this point, it's almost as much as a gallon of gas. So hit that join button next to subscribe, and we'd love to have you guys as part of the crew.
The next topic I want to move on to, and it's actually it's actually kind of surrounding this comment. So I'm going to pull this comment up. You guys can see Savvy Money Show says HD deal with Walmart. So any deal with Walmart leads to more deals. And he's obviously referencing Affirm initially working with Walmart, and that could lead to more deals. Certainly, you could have the Jones effect where, once you get these big names, and I think Amazon, I mean, you get Amazon, you can really get anybody, but Walmart's right in that mix. I'm just going to tell you, it's one of the 3 stocks that I'm going to buy instead of Facebook. So we're going to get into this conversation about 3 stocks to buy instead of Facebook, and I'm going to explain why. So we've been talking about Facebook the last couple of days. There's a lot of I guess negative headlines in the news that overall our perspective is this is just a dip buy opportunity. It's not going to be anything material. We've seen this before. However, we also stated it may be choppy short term, not really sure how this is going to, at what point it's going to move, but we certainly feel like it's going to move up. It's an opportunity. But I was always looking through the charts. I'm thinking, okay, what could we look at that potentially has a similar opportunity, but maybe a little bit more, a little bit less worrisome just because of we don't know what's going to happen surrounding the Senate conversation with Mark Zuckerberg and just when this is going to come back. So Brad, I brought you 3 stocks, wanted to get your perspective, and really get a technical breakdown from you. So just to set the stage, Facebook, from its recent highs, is down 12%, 12.5%.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the charts and I was like, fundamentally, it looks great. You know what else fundamentally looks great? That's down almost 12% off its highs is Apple stock.
Yeah.
Seems like a perfect sort of opportunity if you're a little bit worried about Facebook and you know, if it's going to come back in the short term. Apple stock seems like a great opportunity going right into, we talked about the iPhone upcycle, should be a great fall, monster fall for them, pending any supply chain issues. That's my first stock. How does it look technically, and what are your thoughts on that one?
So here's my thing. Also, Fat Man Zoom, the PE ratio for Facebook is around 24. The
Yep.
PE for Apple is just pulling it up right now.
27.
27. So these are around the same. Apple
Yep.
has far less, I guess, PR issues. So there's definitely that going for it. And we talked about this for Stockwatch Sunday. So Apple is one of my stocks to watch for Stockwatch Sunday. I had mentioned this 138 mark being very crucial. And we actually ended up putting it up on our watch list for the next day as well, just to kind of reiterate the fact that this 138 area was a really solid support for Apple, as it was a really tough resistance virtually for the last year. Last time we saw it kind of test that 138 after a major run up last year after the split back in September of 2020 right here. And it came back to retest that yet again towards the end of the year in 2020, around December 29th. Had a little bit of a pop, but then just ended up fizzling back out and kind of being sideways for the most part until we got back towards, the beginning of summer. Actually really the middle of summer. And then it got back to that 138 mark. And I actually took a trade on this when it started to approach that 138 area. And I said, hey, listen, this looks like a nice area that we could watch for a potential breakout here on Apple. And sure enough, it did. Made a beautiful trade on this. And then now it's come back down to potentially retest that 138 mark. So it's been holding up here remarkably well. It's only a couple of dollars off of that. It's actually nice and green today. So this, to me, in my opinion, would be a low risk area to potentially take a starter on Apple or add to your position if you already own it.
Absolutely. The next stock I'm bringing to the table, again, I'm looking at stocks that are reliable, that aren't going anywhere. You actually brought this up as well. Amazon down about 13%, pretty much the same amount as Facebook. We obviously know all the good things surrounding Amazon, AWS. Obviously, they're continuing to make different moves with Andy Jassy, the new CEO. But I don't know if you heard, but they were subject to, we had Facebook's outage. Amazon was subject to a hack today. I don't know if you heard about it, but Twitch. So their streaming service, Twitch, was hacked this afternoon. But it was actually a good thing. And I'm going to tell you why. So a hacker hacked a bunch of information, released it to just give public information out to the internet. And two things they brought up was plans for Amazon to pay content creators, which is good. And then the next thing they brought up was an unreleased product from Amazon Game Studios. And so obviously bigger presence in Amazon gaming. You've been talking a lot about the opportunity Amazon has with Twitch, potentially live sports. There's just a lot of things it can do with Twitch. It was a huge acquisition they made in 2014. They're clearly going to leverage it. There's huge opportunity for it. And this hack actually, I think, could work out to the benefit for Amazon. But Amazon's one that I'm also saying is a great alternative instead of Facebook.
Yeah, so you heard me mention the PE ratio and how they actually compared to Apple, and they were pretty close. One thing I will say is that Amazon's is at 56, but I think it's definitely warranted. It's still relatively low in the tech space. It's on the higher end, but it's still not it's not overbought or overvalued by any stretch of the imagination. You guys saw me move this support line down here and just kind of observe where it had a pretty sharp correction after their earnings down to 31.75, and then retested that again on Monday. So we had a pretty decent drop off on Monday. Obviously, all of tech got wrecked on Monday as well, but we've seen a remarkable bounce back here. I really like this at the $3,200 level. I mean, hell, I liked it at $3,300, so I'm definitely going to love it here at 32. One thing to definitely watch for here is that if it does get to 3,300, that's going to be act as a pretty tough resistance for it, which is also where the 200-day moving average lies. You look at the RSI right now; it's still pretty oversold despite the bounce here. I like Amazon. I think that we have tons of upside here from where we're at right now. Again, pretty low risk reward at the price point.
And then the last stock I have, the number 3 stock, I gotta give credit for to Savvy Money Show and then Avon Hunter, both talking about Walmart being a steal right now. I couldn't agree more. You actually put it on the watch list this morning, and I added a little bit to it. I'm not sure if you saw this deal, but Home Depot announced a partnership with Walmart. So Walmart has this last mile delivery service called Go Local that they've been trying to work out, and Home Depot's actually their first major client. Now they're looking to cater towards small businesses and also large corporations, but really, Brad, what's going to matter for this is large corporations. So big companies like Home Depot spell well. So one great statistic you put in the watch list that I thought speaks volumes in regards to Walmart and their competition is Amazon Prime. So Amazon Prime isn't really playing a factor. About 86% of current Walmart Plus subscribers also have Amazon Prime. So that speaks to not necessarily it's one or the other. It's not a zero-sum game here. So I think between that statistic and the outlook on Walmart Plus, which looks strong, 32 million households, in addition to the Go Local and that partnership, I think we see more partnerships. And I think this is a great entry opportunity for Walmart, what they're doing for their business, but also a great entry for us in the stock.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was just looking. Let me see here real quick. It's down 10% essentially. Walmart is from its highs from 152.57. And you can see how much this has come down, and it literally makes 0 cents. I mean, it makes 0 cents at all. The PE is around 39. And we look at and compare it to its other competitors. Now, Target's had a little bit of a drop off, but not nearly as much as Walmart. And Costco has just been an absolute monster. And some of the other department stores have not really reacted nearly as poorly as Walmart has, and it doesn't make any sense. Good God. Can you look at Costco? I mean, that's just crazy. So if Costco's moving like this and Target hasn't really pulled back nearly as much as Walmart has, it stands a reason to believe that Walmart's still a really good value here. And I mentioned in the watch list for our Chaos Crew members this morning that this 135, 134 area was going to be an excellent support. And I see only upside from here. And you can look at the RSI. It's still very oversold despite its bounce from 134 to 137, where it just closed that today. And so this, to me, again, we're looking at low risk, high reward here. And I think this is another great opportunity for Walmart. It's just stupid cheap down here, Fat Man Zoom. I think that anybody should feel comfortable, in my opinion, to just own it where it's sitting here and then maybe potentially add to dips if it comes back to retest 134.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of dips, those are the 3 stocks that I think are great alternatives to Facebook. And I think they're growth opportunities, but they're reliable growth opportunities. Any of those stocks you should be fine with and continue to scoop up on any dips. This morning in level 3, we were actually going through shooting off asymmetrical opportunities, and there are just so many good stocks that are beaten down. So guys, let us know in the comments. I'm sure you guys have ones that are good alternatives as well. Let us know which stocks you're looking at, potential dip buy opportunities. And I am going to come out with, I want to look at those asymmetrical trades. There are just so many really good asymmetrical upside 10-to-1 opportunities that we'll also be talking about that in the near future. So guys, make sure you stay tuned for that.
Yep. Just to give you a little hint, it's going to be a lot of the discretionaries, materials, and energy stocks that have gotten beaten down recently. They're all looking great right now.
I know there's a lot of good opportunities out there. Little bit of patience. We get through this. I feel really good about how we're going to get into the end of the year.
Me too.
Markets closed down. Why don't you give a little recap of how the market did?
Yeah. So the market closed is closed. It actually had an amazing bounce back. I mean, this morning the Dow was down nearly 300 points at one point, and maybe it was even further than that. That was the last time I checked. It was down more than 300 points. It actually closed green today across the board. The only thing that ended up closing red was oil. It was back down to $77. No big deal there. I needed a little bit of a breather, but the S&P closed up about 0.5%. Dow Jones closed up around 1/3%, up around 162 points. And NASDAQ actually closed up green as well, up about 0.5%, with about 68 points into the green.
Yeah. So really surprising. And again, just having the patience. We talked about, we didn't talk about Palantir too much, but we announced the news in the yesterday when we were live. One of our community members had brought it up. And so it pretty much gave back most of its after hours gains. It was up nearly 14%. I got into it. I'm holding on to it. I'm hanging on. I expect to hear more bullishness from analysts. I think potentially we could see price target increases. I also think that you may hear Aunt Kathy buying some more. Wouldn't be surprised about that. But the thesis is strong with Palantir. I think, unfortunately, the overall market getting beaten down today early on kind of took the sail out of the winds in that. But we talked about that. I mean, I had texts from buddies in some conversations in Discord where people were feeling like they just needed to jump in. And I'm like, no, just wait. And it certainly, I mean, it still ended up green on the day, but it gave back most of those. So again, just be patient. The same goes true with Affirm. And I know some people had mentioned feeling like they missed out. Like, there's opportunities that are going to continue to present themselves. So just be patient, guys. If you guys want those type of news, want that information, feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll keep you guys apprised of what's going on in the market as we can.
There's so much stuff on sale, man. I mean, Cleveland Cliffs got an upgrade from Goldman Sachs this morning, and it sold off. I mean, it was red for the most part on the day. But the only reason it was down was because it was reacting with the rest of the market, and that's what some of this other stuff is doing. So once we get past the noise, guys, I'm telling you, like, there's so many good stuff on sale right now. This is just another one. I'm looking at Nike too, also at 148, 149. That looks really good from holding its 200-day moving average. There's just, I mean, I could go on and on about it right now.
Absolutely. I'm trying to see how many people we have in the house right now. Is it 52? Is that right, or is my number wrong?
I think that's wrong. Hold on.
Yeah, it's got to be wrong because I only have 6 likes. Guys, while Brad's looking for that number, make sure you hit the thumbs up to like if you liking the content, if you appreciate what we're doing. We always appreciate the support. For some reason, I can't really talk right now, so I don't know what to tell you.
We got 91 people in here.
All right.
38 likes, though. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. If you guys could get the thumbs up, we certainly would appreciate it. We at least need to see like 50, 60. We got 91 people in here.
Mark Peach agrees. Cleveland Cliffs is undervalued. Price per share, price earnings are just so low.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeff, you're on it, brother. Appreciate it. Hit that like, fools. Yeah. So, I mean, I know we're kind of winding down at this point, but I just wanted to give you guys a couple updates on moving forward. Tonight, we will be releasing Friday, we will be releasing our first pre-recorded options video with Don Fran from the Don Fran Show. So I sat down with Don Fran. We had some conversations around the one mistake to avoid with the wheel strategy, the options wheel strategy. And we're going to be releasing a new piece of options content, really just kind of documenting our journey and what we've been experiencing each week. So you and I are going to alternate. Every Friday, we're going to release an options video. As long as you guys like the content and want it to come, we'll definitely try it throughout the year. It'll be a cool little experience because we've had conversations around options, and we think it's time to start giving you guys that content. So that's going to be a premiere. So it'll be a first time releasing that. We'll be in the chat talking with you guys. So make sure you hit that notification bell if you're subscribed to the channel. It'll let you know when that goes live, and it's in the evening. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about Freddie Valois this week. I think the connection's good enough that we probably can do the top 3 stocks. So Freddie's going to buy stocks this week, Brad. He's got money in his account. I've confirmed it. We're going to bring 3 stocks each to pitch him on how we think he should spend $1,000. So, guys, stay tuned. I think that's going to be fun. We're going to sell him on these stocks, and then he's going to come back and essentially pick those stocks and buy those live on air. So we'll see how that plays out. Should be Thursday. Either way, Freddie's here every Thursday. So if we can't get it to this week, we'll get it to it next week. And as always, Stock Watch Sunday, this Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. A lot of good stuff coming up. But, we just enjoy bringing you guys new content.
I can't wait for Freddie to buy his first stock, man. It's going to be awesome.
I know. And I mean, he loves engaging the community. So maybe you guys bring stocks and compelling cases on which stocks you think he should buy. So
yeah, leave us some comments. Let us know what you think Freddie should be buying.
Yeah, we'll see how to do that. So that's tomorrow. Freddie's with us tomorrow. I can't believe it's almost Thursday already, bro. That's crazy.
No, this week has flown by.
How was thanks, Marcina, appreciate that. How was fishing, man?
It was good.
Caught
some stuff, nothing too crazy, but it was just nice to just not do anything and just be out with nature. So it was good.
Yeah, I feel you. You're back in studio Stockwatch Sunday, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So we'll have B Smith back in studio then. I think I'm ready to shut her down.
Let's do it, man. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Thursdays with Freddie. Can't wait for that. It's going to be awesome. And we'll catch you then.
Bye.